What up?
Griffith Park on the 5 southbound delays leaving the 134 freeway heavy and slow all the way to the 605. Northbound 5, it's crowding up in Boyle Heights from the 60, looking much better. And just about Los Feliz Boulevard. And we're also heading out to the 101 in Hollywood. Southbound slowing from Sunset Boulevard into downtown
I don't
Los
play no
Angeles.
reindeer
And
games.
northbound delays from just about Sunset as well as you continue toward White Oak and Encino.
No reindeer games up in here.
91 eastbound. Crowding up at the 55, looking better by Green River.
Yeah, you're gonna use those.
Back to the city center convenience mart. Uh-oh. She's looking at the cigarettes.
I got you.
But she just grabs the gum off the counter. Stand up to cancer.
Listen, you ain't just have a seat, child.
Take the healthy stand. KBLA Talk 1580 invites you
Dr. Pacoya Robertson.
the solution as we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well-wishes.
Bam! There she is.
We share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive.
You might want to wipe them out.
Is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours. Now through December 20th, all of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw.
You already know what it is. Hit that like button.
Every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety.
All right, let me know if you can hear.
We can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit
this you?
of the season. The spirit of
Is that
love.
you?
Make
Can
a
you hear?
difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
That's me. That's here. Is this you?
That's me.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story. So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, and I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
Everybody hit that like button. Let's go. What up, though? Hit the like button. It's too many people in here. Too few likes. Let's get it.
I have dealt with some people that balance me and are equally yoked, and at times have I been manipulated and played on certain things just because I'm a man.
Right. But not all men do that. We don't want to blanket
I'm a man, and
all
I
men do not prey and manipulate. Not all men.
First of all humans pray and manipulate, but in a man
Not in a praying way. Not in a praying way.
if I see that I can say, okay,
I feel like I need this and this person has this. I'm going to do and say whatever I need to do to get that.
But Nick, again, law of attraction. We attract who we are, despite of who we think we are. You used the word, you said women who are equally yoked to you.
Yeah.
Equally yoked comes in many different facets.
100% balance.
They have been equally yoked to your low functioning dysfunction that you have learned to survive in.
Because I use my tools to because first of all, you're acting as if I'm entering every scenario with before me, and we all, every time someone meets someone, you're meeting their representative. I know how to turn on the perfect man.
Yeah,
and so therefore I may have manipulated a situation, and therefore so it's to not discredit to anyone.
I got you.
I've come into every situation. I can be God-fearing, celibate, the one that you want. I can tell you everything that you want in a man and show you that. I can open the doors, lay down the cloak, send the jet, do it all to be like, oh my goodness, no, I never performed it again. Toxic Nick shows up, and he's like, this motherfucker got me.
No, but
he done gave me the draws, and I ain't heard from him.
What you said is perfect. No, what you said is perfect because you named all of the low-functioning, superficial things that a low-functioning woman would fall into.
Church,
women,
that ain't low-functioning.
Any women.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. Oh, in the name of sweet baby Ray's barbecue sauce. We about to get it in. We're about to get it in. This is about to be so wild tonight. It's important. We have to have these types of conversations. You guys want to play reindeer games, and I'm not here for it, right? I'm here to have a real discussion about something that's really happening, in the dating pool. Whew. Back in the day, we used to sit back and wait until something showed up in you. But you can now prepare yourself. You can do a little self-work, see who you are, and then see what type of person you tend to attract, right? If you find out you're codependent, codependents love narcissists.
They do.
Oh my goodness, it's like they're twin flames, they're soulmates, Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's topic is a barn burner. I want you to get to your phone lines. You got to participate. The number to dial, 1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580. I have a special guest in the house. Yeah. My god sister is in the building, Dr. P. Pacoya McCall Robinson. Yeah. Side D from Insight Me Services. Can they follow you on Instagram?
Absolutely. So you can follow me at the letter N, SIGHT, M as in Mary, E. Like Insight Me, but with an N.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tonight's topic. You're not going to like it, but I have to do it this way.
They're going to love it.
Is narcissism the herpes of the mind, behavior, and soul? Why it never truly goes away. Ugh.
Yeah.
Now, we've heard in the news recently that actor, producer, rapper, comedian, just multi-talented young man, Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
He came out and said he has a NPD diagnosis. Now, you're the clinician here, and I just really want you to break this down. That's not an easy diagnosis to get, am I correct?
No, it's not. So I'm really curious, is like, who gave it to him? Did he self-do it? Because we are in the era of self-diagnosing.
Mm-hmm.
We got TikTok doctors. We have doctors that are in the media.
Right.
And sensationalizing very serious disorders and using terms that really aren't clinically in alignment, but it's just to speak to the audience. So yeah, I mean, if he's saying he's narcissistic, I don't see that in there. But maybe is he saying he has some traits, because he's manipulative, maybe a little superficial. But the tone in there, he has accolades. So this is another thing where who is giving this diagnosis? Because most narcissists, textbook narcissists, tend to not have any accolades. They're braggers. So his energy it has this very narcissistic, loud, look at me, but he has a reason for people to look at him. He can send jets, and he does have awards and trophies and recognition.
Right.
So for me, he's going to drop into a little more antisocial. And those are the ones that are very dangerous.
Oh, goodness. Oh, hold tight, ladies and gentlemen. The voice of reason is on complete fire tonight. Oh, why do narcissistic traits persist despite therapy? I've heard some therapists, I have a lot of therapists as friends, and a lot of them have said that narcissism is almost therapy proof.
Yeah.
Like there's no cure.
Right. It's a personality
Talk to
disorder.
me about the difference.
So some things like, think of our anxiety, our depression, those are organic. There's something off, and we could say there's something off in the brain with a narcissist also, but usually it's corrected because there's a faulty neurotransmitter. There is nothing that goes back to, so if you got a bad attitude, you're just a nasty, mean person. That's not a brain abnormality.
Like an imbalance, chemical imbalance.
There is no chemical imbalance in there, but one may argue that there is something off to be that way, right? We have a lot of antisocial people. We have a lot of narcissistic people that have frontal lobe damage.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So we can't say no, it's not. But personality disorders like our borderlines, our narcissists, that's an attitude.
Whoa. Hold on.
That's a perspective.
Hold on. It's a demonic attitude. See, because
right, it's an attitude.
It's an attitude.
It's an attitude. It's an outlook. So it is, and what makes them so difficult, and why I'm saying the narcissist and the antisocial are really close, right? There's some small things that separate them,
right?
And they are foolproof, because if you hear the way he speaks, he's like, I can turn it on,
chameleon, performative,
and I can turn it off. And that superficial charm. There's superficial relationships. He has no real desire to really connect intimately with someone, and they're nice people, right? A lot of them are even good looking, right? So when someone's talking and saying, my intention is to draw you in and drop you, that's what they feed off of. Some people are like, I want to come in and I just want to love you. Like they come in and they were like, I want you to be impressed with me, and I'm going to roll out the red carpet, and then once you're impressed, then I'm like, meh, thanks, done.
Wait, you mean charm as a strategy?
Oh, yeah. Superficial charm.
Ooh, this is deep.
They're smart. They're very intelligent. And a lot of times they're smarter than their therapists.
That's what I've heard.
Of people.
Yes.
So it makes them extremely dangerous. And will talk you in circles. Like this woman who is a, credentialed doctor is arguing back and forth to prove what? Like, he's like, what do you prove with that? Right. You wind up in an argument with them to try to make them change their mind. They're like, no, but you don't understand. Right. This is who I am, and everyone loves it.
Wow.
And they do.
That clip was from Nick Cannon's Council Culture show, and it contained Dr. Cheyenne Bryant along with Nick Cannon. Very interesting. Is narcissism the herpes of the mind, behavior, and soul? Why it truly never goes away. Why do narcissistic traits persist despite therapy? She just covered that. Is healing narcissism a pipe dream or a possibility? The social contagion of narcissistic behavior in a hyper-connected digital age? Were you born this way or built this way? Debunking the myth of the genetic narcissist? But I would ask, before we really peel back all of those layers, what are the criteria to diagnose someone as NPD? Because NPD is totally different than I have narcissistic traits, correct?
Correct.
All right. So how does one
today.
Yeah, how does one get that?
Right. So one of the things is there's an age limit that you have to be of a certain age in order to be diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. I would have to flip and see each category, but it is about, they're going to label the relationships intimacy if they're superficial. A lot of times what you'll see are patterns of a person inability to maintain relationships for long periods of time. And these relationships are in multiple areas. These are friendships. It could be, partnerships, marriages, things like that. Those relationships tend to fall apart because it's not rooted in like truth. Like they really want to connect with someone. The connection is for them. It's usually temporary, and whatever motivation they get from it, then they're done with it. So they can have a bunch of people around them, but who are they truly close to? Who truly knows them? You'll see like no one. And that's how they like it. They can go to work every day, So this is a therapist working with someone that's narcissistic. You have to be with them. You have to know their family. Like you have to know their friends, people at work to truly catch like what's really happening. Otherwise you'll think like, why are you here? Why are you in therapy? They were like, so someone else made me.
So it's really interesting the way you're like dissecting this. You're listening to the voice of Dr. Pacoya McCall Robinson. Saidi, she's in here cooking with the rarest grease. No, this is good because we need to know, because not only you are outlining this thing so succinctly. Narcissists can be therapy resistant. This is why many therapists, like if you talk to Dr. Ramani, who is a professor of psychology at Cal State LA, she says they can't be healed. They can't be fixed. You can't fix them. And I'm not a big proponent of can't. I think there's a spiritual piece, and we can get into that later. But for the most part, according to psychology, they can't be healed. It can't be fixed. But you're also telling me in your outline that they are also relationship resistant. They see the relationship as the food trough. The same as a pig would see the food trough, go there, get something, and then move away. Is that how narcissists
they come
interface?
In and they get what they want, and then they're gonna move away. And the objective for them is usually, it's always self-serving. Like they just need to feel and be important. So any attention is attention. The bottom line is, it's like, pay attention to me, pay attention to me. So whatever Nick is wanting from this conversation, he's on television. This is entertainment. Whatever this is, it creates a buzz. This doctor is, has gone on many shows. So it's just fueling these narratives that aren't always correct.
I mean, we're talking
about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Voice of Reason. We're on complete fire. It's late. It's early December. But guess what? The fire is still burning hot and high. Ladies and gentlemen, get to your phone lines when we come forward. Myself and my god sister, Dr. Pacoya McCall Robinson. We will keep cooking.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yo, everybody hit that like button. If you enjoyed tonight's conversation, you already know it's on fire. You know it's on complete fire. You already know we in here cooking. I ain't even gotten to the setup. I haven't even gotten to the questions. I was just in the subtopics. Miss JB, thank you, love. Thank you. Thank you for hitting the super chat. You guys should follow suit. If you want to support the channel, all you got to do is go down to the bottom. Go down to the bottom of the super chat. There's a little $sign down there. Support, support, support. Or you can give it directly to my Cash App. My sister's in here cooking. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Incurable by design. The case for managing, not fixing narcissism. Can it be managed?
If they're the manager.
Oh,
it's telling people like you can't fix this. Like if I want to be recognized and I have an inflated sense of self-worth, there's nothing anybody can do about it. You can't change my mind. I personally, I like them. I love them. I think they're great.
You love narcissists?
Yeah, they're internal. self-esteem is high. The world lacks these things. So things in tiny doses are good.
So that means
Give me a couple. I got a couple narcissistic traits and think it's great. Makes me a great business owner. But everything isn't bad. I'm not
Right.
trying to take advantage of someone.
right.
I can handle criticism. That's a big thing for them also.
They
They
can't.
cannot handle criticism.
And what about the lack of self-awareness on their part?
Well, they're extremely aware, actually.
Really?
We just don't like it. They're fine. You see
Mm.
why you can't, like a person goes to therapy because something is wrong.
Uh-huh. Oh, this is gonna be good. Is it arrogant to think that you can fix them? Absolutely.
That's the therapist's problem.
You
They
can't
go
fix
in
them.
there and they get ate up because they're like, I could do this. No, you can't. There's
I'll do this all day in America with you, therapy lady.
no idea.
That's what they do. We'll do this all day in America.
There's nothing wrong with them.
Wow.
Did he say there was anything wrong with, like, listen to his entire clip? He says, no, like, I can do this because this is what they want. So when she's like, well, these are the kind of people you're attracting, he's like, okay, so what's your point?
Ooh.
Like, you have to listen to what he's not saying. He's not saying, I don't like this.
Right.
He's gloating in it, right? So there's that entitlement. There's that, he loves it.
This is about to be crazy. Based off of what she just said, I'm going to ask these questions. Here we go.
What is the difference between a sociopath, a psychopath, and a narcissist? Here to answer this intense question is Dr. Ramani. Help us out here.
Well, it's, again, there's a lot of overlap. But the fact is, a lot of people are using these terms interchangeably.
And should they be?
They psychopath. No, they shouldn't. They're different things, okay? One rule of thumb to remember right off the bat. Every psychopath is narcissistic, but not every narcissist is psychopathic. Make sense? There's your key difference. A narcissist is somebody who lacks empathy, is grandiose, is entitled, is constantly seeking validation, is arrogant. It's a disorder of self-esteem, and they have trouble regulating their self-esteem. But when a narcissist does a bad thing, they feel a fair amount of guilt and shame. More shame than guilt, frankly, because they're concerned about how other people view them. Shame is a public emotion. So they don't like being viewed negatively in the public eye or by other people. That's where the shame comes from. But they'll feel a little bad. Like if they cheat on a wife, I probably shouldn't have done that. Yeah. Psychopath's a different animal. They're all of those things except no guilt, no shame. They don't feel remorse when they do something bad. So they're great serial killers, hired assassins, people who are going to go in and literally sort of gut a business. These are you guys. They're like, I don't care who gets hurt. They'd say that and they'd mean it. Okay, well, a narcissist is like, I hope no one gets hurt. Okay? The difference between the psychopath and the sociopath is the one where most people get confused. Because the sociopath is a lot like the psychopath. They do bad things and they don't care. Okay? Here's the key difference. A psychopath is born and a sociopath is made. Okay, that's the key. So a psychopath, in fact, we know in the research on psychopathy, which has also been called antisocial personality disorder in our diagnostic manual, these are people who are actually believed to have slightly different autonomic nervous systems. Our autonomic nervous system is actually that part that holds our sympathetic nervous system, which is our fight and flight system. So when our autonomic nervous system for a normal person gets charged up, which it would if we broke a rule, if we did something embarrassing or rude, if we ran through a red light, our heart starts racing. We sweat, our pupils get wide, we look around because we're afraid of the consequence. A psychopath doesn't have that same kind of arousal. That's why they're able to lie on lie detector tests.
That's how they get away with it. They don't have that same kind of arousal. So where you or I may go on a roller coaster, feel that sense of excitement, we need to get that arousal in a good way. We don't like feeling it when we do something wrong. They don't feel it.
So,
Wow. Go ahead, Andy. Andy had a question. Go ahead, Andy. Andy.
it wasn't a question. I just wanted to mention, oh boy, interviewing Dr. Romney just looks flabbergasted by her responses.
No, she's cooking.
Yeah.
And she made some clear distinctions.
They're huge difference. And that's the thing where you let the world get a hold of these fads, you know, on TikTok, and it's misused. So everybody's like, I'm narcissistic. I'm like, Nick, no, who told you that? No, you're not.
Don't do that. Right.
No, you're not. You're a little more antisocial.
Antisocial. Now, so the question is, how are narcissists made? Because she made the distinction between made and born.
Correct. So there are genetic and environmental components. So that is the nature versus nurture. So when it's a self-esteem issue, that could be something fractured in childhood, you know, those little wounds, not good enough, right? Those are things, and it's much more common in men when you see these narcissistic diagnoses, but it is the environment and it is genetic. So that it's not truly even known. Like, we don't know how it's truly comes about.
Oh my goodness. Will Nick Cannon's public cry for help regarding his narcissistic personality disorder diagnosis lead to the normalization of narcissistic behaviors in our intimate relationships? Are contemporary psychological and clinical approaches fundamentally inadequate for addressing the profound internal healing and heightened self-awareness required to achieve meaningful reconciliation and transformation in individuals with narcissistic personality disorder? Listen, these are some heavy questions. Do we want narcissistic behaviors normalized, or are they already normalized? We're in America, for crying out loud.
I think I don't know if it's normalized versus, for me, it would be the education about what it actually is best. I think that kind of correct information to the masses is most important, because narcissistic traits, they're okay to have.
They're ubiquitous. Everybody has.
If I have an inflated sense of self-worth, tell me why that's bad, unless I'm hurting someone.
Right.
Right? That's where they actually do make great bosses and CEOs, because you have to
assertive,
be self-absorbed,
confident, charismatic.
Right. So where you can take these terms, right, these characteristics, and you can see how they can be really good and how they can be really bad. Again, it's how it's used.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason on complete fire. When we come forward, the nation wants to speak. We're in Long Beach. We're in Indianapolis. We're in Houston, Texas. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, trust me, we got a lot to talk about. Ooh, wee!
Yeah, those guys in therapy, when people are like, why can't they be fixed?
You know you can open that door. They don't have to be closed.
Oh, I don't know. I always just used to closing it.
Girl, when we in here, we get to yell.
Oh, okay. Well, door's open.
My God, sister, don't want to be. I got you now.
Yeah, they don't.
You guys have questions for my sister? You can ask her. She can see you. What up, y'all? Everybody hit that like button. Listen, this is our longest break. So now's the time to support the channel. If you guys want to hit the super chat, which is the $ down at the bottom of the chat, you could do that now. Let's see. Jacinda Lewis. She just hit us with $19.99. Zoe, I love your show, but it comes on too late. I'm sorry you on the East Coast, because clearly that's where you at. I'm sorry, but we appreciate it. We appreciate it. Everybody hit the like button. There's 91 people in here. Can everybody hit the like button? We only got 38 likes. Let's all hit the like button. The like button is free. So please support. Yeah, the like button is free. So just like it. Or you could go directly to my Cash App, $Zoe. What? Netter. Moderators, can you put my Cash App in the chat and other means of supporting this channel? We'd appreciate it. Thank you so much. How you guys enjoying the show so far?
Do we know some narcissists? Got a couple in your family?
Yo, yeah, I think we
A
do.
couple sociopaths?
I think we do. You know, somebody said already. They said already. Winner tapped in. That like button be like kryptonite to some people. James said this is nice, nice. We appreciate it. Covert narcs are cosplay victims. Ooh.
Narcs are cosplay victims.
The covert narcs, I think, are women. The vulnerable narcs. Men are more grandiose. Men are more
I
grandiose.
would have to do it like a, how do women show up? But, I think in today's energy of how women show up in a different way, they probably look just like the male ones. Loud.
Well, Romney is doing a lot of work in this area. And she's been talking about the covert narcs and how just the way society is set up, it's easier for women to morph into the covert style. Even come across as more so codependent, but really aren't codependent. Weaponized codependence, I'm finna leave. That's the weaponized codependence. Don't make me do this topic tomorrow.
Weaponized codependence.
Weaponized codependence. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They in here bugging out. Conceited than a motherfucker. Covert narcs are more dangerous.
Yeah, because then you don't know. You don't even have the opportunity to not like them, especially if they have that superficial charm and they're sweet, but they want something from you.
Yeah.
Milk you.
Yeah, milk you dry and then drop you. Discard is always on deck.
Thank you for... They're emotional vampires.
Ooh.
That's what it is. It's the emotional...
Weaponized codependent. That is crazy. That's wild. Somebody said covert anything is dangerous.
Yeah. I like mine overt, so I can know.
I want to know.
Make some informed decisions about...
Right. Don't kiss a nigga on the forehead before you stab me.
Yes, please.
The fuck? Let me... Oh, I'm sorry. Covert is confused with hidden, and that is not always the case. Let's see. Somebody said facts. Like, I like my racism overt.
That's what I was
Let
thinking.
me know.
Yes. Me too.
Is there really no cure for narcs? No.
A cure means there's something, you have to think something's wrong with you. They don't think anything's wrong with them.
But I think that comes back to the self-awareness question. Because we have Lee Hammock, who's on YouTube. He's been in... got a huge following. He's been in therapy for seven years. And Lee Hammock is basically saying, I'm a self-aware narcissist. He's like, I've been in therapy for 7 years. I'm married. And he gives the little tips of how to be a narcissist. But he says you have to become self-aware in order to kind of be something different to your partner, or you're just going to destroy him.
I would say, if he was so aware, why are you still in therapy?
I think therapy is lifelong for them.
Why are they in therapy?
I think they got to be in therapy.
This is why I ask any narcissist, why are you here? Over and over again. Because a lot of times they're there to learn techniques.
Ooh,
they don't.
He said that too, though.
Anything wrong? Like, to be aware, like, oh, this is who I am. What's wrong with it, though? Well, I don't hurt anybody. What's wrong with being grandiose?
He said that too.
What's wrong with it?
I think he almost lost his relationship. I think that's what kind of...
Almost, but he didn't. So that just fuels the flame.
Ooh.
Smooth talkers. Who would leave me?
Yeah. Who would leave me is genius.
I'm in therapy.
I'm me.
I'm working on it. For 7 years. What?
Oh, my God. Are you ready for callers? Because they ready.
Yes, let's do it. I'm like, they're crazy.
I'm going to skip some of these questions. I have so many great questions.
You always do.
Yeah. He got a crash, right? Yeah. That's right. Everybody go follow my sister, Dr. Pakoya, on IG. There's her link.
Thank you.
They got you. Here we go.
Right.
This right here is crazy. I feel big, you know? Like not big in the sense of
It's narcissistic
weight, you know, like,
anthem.
weight up, nothing like that, like how much you want to for me?
No. Hey.
We started a new series on codependency, and what I said in that opening talk on that was, in my experience as an addictions counselor, one of the main causes of things that lead people to a relapse is they get into a relationship that is a codependent relationship, and before we know it, they have become back into kind of addicted to a person, and all of their addictive behavior and all of their old ways of doing things kick in, and before you know it, they're all messed up inside, and they end up relapsing to the drugs or alcohol. So it is a huge issue that many in recovery have to deal with if they ever want to stay clean and sober. But then I said, beyond that, I don't think codependency is properly understood until people understand the complex trauma component. And that, to me, is significant because one of the symptoms of complex trauma is it sets people up to become codependent, which means it sets people up so that their relationships aren't healthy and end up failing. So that's why I want to do this series, is because it's such a big issue for people in recovery. It's one of the most common questions that I receive from clients when they are thinking about their recovery. And so tonight I want to take it a little bit further. And what I want you to understand up front is that when I say codependency, I have a spectrum in my mind. So there is kind of mild codependency to severe codependency. So you might say, I don't think I'm codependent because I'm not in the severe end of the spectrum, but you might have some of the more mild parts of codependency that still can get you into a lot of trouble in a relationship. So taking that, what I want to talk about tonight is the more severe end of the codependency spectrum. And when you get to the more severe end of the codependency spectrum, a word comes into play that has become a very popular word, and it's called narcissism. And so when you are in the more severe end of the codependency spectrum, there's usually a narcissist who's part of that relationship. But what I want you to understand tonight is in order for a narcissist to be in a relationship, there's got to be a co-narcissist. And I will explain that in a little bit. And my hunch would be that most of you here would either fall in the category of a narcissist or a co-narcissist. Now, there's supposed to be on the back of your handout a test that you can take to see if you're a narcissist or a co-narcissist. And then, so don't do that when I'm talking, because I want you to listen. And I don't want you all of a sudden getting super depressed or super angry.
Oh, he's dropping fire. Oh, he's dropping fire. Lord have mercy. What's his name for people who want to see that? Tim Fletcher.
Okay, Tim.
Come on, Tim, the co-narcissist.
Your wingman.
Now, see, that sounds just like Ross Rosenberg.
Mm-hmm.
Ross Rosenberg, in his Human Magnet Syndrome book, explains that, this codependent, who he calls self-love deficient, or SLDD, self-love deficient disorder, because he's like, yo, it's an addiction. You are addicted to this, I guess, this supply, so to speak, that you get from this narcissistic relationship.
Right.
And then when you're not in a narcissistic bond like that, you may, especially if you're using the spectrum that Mr. Fletcher was talking about, you may experience what Ross Rosenberg called pathological loneliness, which is this aching in your bones from being alone. That's how bonded you are to the toxicity of the narcissist. So this whole concept of co-narcissist or narcissist facilitator, narcissist quarterback, hey, just run the route. I'll throw you the pass. The perfect. Oh, this is great. Yeah. So my question to you, because you sounded very flattering and approving of the narcissist, do you approve of their toxic behaviors like gaslighting, emotional manipulation, lack of empathy, a profound inability or unwillingness to understand or care about the feelings of others, grandiosity, projection, pathological lying, triangulation, blame shifting, exploitation, love bombing, overwhelming someone with excessive attention and affection to gain control early in relationships, devaluation, silent treatment, sabotage, rage and intimidation, explosive anger, or subtle threats to instill fear and compliance, jealousy and possessiveness, excessive control and suspicion, often projecting their unfaithfulness onto others, boundary violations, ignoring or disrespecting others' limits, needs, or personal space, constant need for validation, demanding praise and attention while devaluing those who fail to provide it, competitive sabotage, competing with loved ones and undermining their achievements to maintain superiority, emotional blackmail, using guilt, fear, or obligation to manipulate others into submission, discarding, abruptly ending relationships when they no longer serve their needs, they're done with the trough, leaving others feeling abandoned and worthless. Do you rock with any of that?
No. Okay, so when you serve all of those up on the plate, and this is what I was saying, the opposite side of those coins are these negative things that can do harm and hurt people, right? However, there's other traits and aspects about them that it's not harmful. So it's the way they are using their skill, their charm, and what they're using them for. They don't a lot of times think anything's wrong with them because, like Nick was saying, someone's going to sign up for this. Whether or not they're attracting their codependent, right? That's what they want. That's why that's who they're aligned with. That's why that's who they're in a relationship with. Which
is very interesting because Ross Rosenberg in that book, The Human Magnet Syndrome, goes on to say that a lot of these relationships are breakup proof. Because of the toxic bond, the trauma bond that Patrick Carnes talked about. So he was like, they're breakup proof. And even if you happen to break up with somebody, you'll go find a duplicate of the somebody you broke up with so you can continue to get the supply.
Right. And that's what they need. That's the constant need for validation. That's that constant need for attention at any means, right? So when those things are hurting people, and that's where you have to listen to what Nick is saying. Like, yeah, I can do all of these things. I'll roll out the red carpet. I'll do this. I'll do this. I'll do this. But is he saying I have a problem with it? And when people are like, well, how come they can't be fixed? Because they're not saying anything's wrong with them.
That's why I say Nick coming out could potentially normalize all of this.
Well, absolutely. People are
and just make it like, yo, I got what Nick got.
Yeah, me too.
We good.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Y'all showed love to Nick, show love to me.
Right. So yes, it definitely will bring more attention to.
Wow.
I just hope it's the positive attention that I hope people follow the other doctors and really be able to separate. Well, what's the difference? What do I have this diagnosis, or trying to self-diagnose, or listening to people on TikTok, right? It is about the information and it being the correct information.
Wow. Here we go. We got callers on the line. When we come forward, I promise you we're going to talk to y'all as soon as we come forward. Woo! Y'all like the way I read off that list?
Yeah. You're like, and these are the things you love. Yes.
Yeah, and this is what we signed up for.
Oh, hey, this is when they own them. Ask the person in a relationship with them. You would have you know what? You would have to talk to a person in a relationship with him.
Yeah.
Like, what does she say? Like, well, yeah, he does do these things, but he's so sweet. Right? That is the culture. But that's a type of woman that will deal with that.
Oof.
That's a type of woman that wants that.
Oof.
Right?
Once I see the fuck tartary, I had to learn. It was shit that I wasn't even recognizing. And then I started to see it. Mm-hmm. See, I'm a reader. I'm always studying and reading. I'm always reading. And once I started reading some shit, I fell into attachment theory and all that. And I said, oh, wait a minute.
You should read The Sociopath Next Door. It's a great book.
I have read that book.
Right?
This shit is retarded.
It's crazy.
So once I start getting into that shit, I said, hey.
Snap your arm and be like, that's your fault. It's your bad. You should have resisted me.
Now I see. I be like,
yeah.
Somebody said he got his diagnosis from Dr. Bryant. Did he? I don't know if that's confirmed. And, you know, we don't want to just put stuff out there if we don't know if that's confirmed or not. Okay.
I mean, everyone's self-diagnosing these days. I have no idea. That's why I'm curious
Yeah.
But it's someone you would hope have been working with him for a while to say, these are all those things. So you see that list you read off?
Right.
That's not anything he said.
No.
Right?
Right.
He said, I could turn on that toxic, but I would be like, okay, so when you are toxic, Nick.
Is that real Nick?
Who are you?
Which is the real Nick?
Right. So because we are fragmented parts and, you know.
Right.
But I would be like, which of these show up? The negative side of that coin, because right now he's like, I'm a great dude. If I want you, I'll have you. But
Ronan said,
hi, Ronan.
What's up to my fellow narcissists?
Hey.
Everybody hit the like button. Still, the likes are low. The more likes we get, the more we get into the algorithm, the more people come in here. We need people to support the channel. This content is way too good for that. Come on, y'all. Come on, support the channel. Let's go. Support. All you got to do is like it. We need 20 more people to like it. It's some people in here hovering.
There.
It's some people in here hovering. They just want to be watching, but not.
I don't want to commit.
Yeah, they don't want to be seen. I seriously do appreciate your content, brother. Thank you. It's too cold and too late. I don't know what that means.
To give you light.
Yeah. Telling you to shoot somebody, but if somebody tries to shoot you, shoot them. Don't waste time. Just do it. Lord, must be service. Making me nervous. Got an itchy trigger.
What is going on, beautiful people? Today, we're going to be talking about the one question that could possibly make a narcissist collapse. Cause a narcissistic collapse. If you're new here, my name is Lee Hammock. I'm a self-aware narcissist, and welcome to another episode of The Narcissist Code. So, welcome back, folks. Yes. The one question to ask a narcissist that could cause or trigger a possible narcissistic collapse. So first of all, I didn't create this question. I didn't come up with it. I was reading an article. I don't know how I got to the article. I forgot what I was Googling. But the article came up from Rebecca Zung. And she's a brilliant content creator, attorney. I think she's an attorney. Specializing in narcissistic abuse and dealing with narcissistic people, right? And the article listed the question. I was just like, let me see what question this is that she's referring to. What question that she's talking about? It is not question what kind of bear is best. The question that she put on here that said it could cause a narcissistic collapse or cause a narcissist to collapse is simple. It is 5 words. How does that benefit you? That's the question. I was like, you know what? That is a very interesting question. In the article on Medium.com, she pretty much said that question shifts the balance of power back to the person asking the question and away from a narcissist. So if you're like negotiating with a narcissist or a toxic person or whatever, asking them this question kind of flips them on their head. Because very rarely will a narcissist try to give you anything. Narcissistic people try to steamroll you, right? They're very rarely going to come to a negotiating table and try to work out a win-win situation. Typically, it's I win, you lose, or at least I need to feel like I'm winning. I need to feel a victory here. I need to feel like I'm winning. No. I have a doctor in the building. Certified clinical therapist. Somebody. Psychologist. She can do this work.
Let's do this.
We can't be with somebody like that.
I can't.
These people are made?
Yeah.
Okay, so something, they modeled something toxic in the formative years.
Right. Possibly, yes.
And there's no cure for it.
No. So just like
yes, help
question,
me.
Right? That question, he said, he would ask, how would that benefit you?
Right.
How does this benefit you? Like I said, I asked them, why are you in therapy? Why are you here with me? Mm-hmm. Because if the way you are is wonderful, a lot of times they say, because I'm doing this, because this person sent me, I'm mandated to be here, I have to be here. So you cannot treat anyone that doesn't buy into they have the problem.
Right.
They don't think they have a problem. Like, where did Nick say this is bad? What I do is bad. And maybe I didn't listen to this whole clip, but it doesn't sound like he has a problem with it.
But
he's benefiting them. How am I what do I get out of this?
But no, I think he did say by revealing this was him admitting he needs help.
With what? I would have to listen to the entire thing to be like, well, what do you need help with? Sounds like what? Unless that list you read off of the ones I don't like those ones, toxic ones, right? Unless there's a list there where he's like, I am doing these things and I'm creating harm to my family, to my children,
to myself.
Right.
Yes.
And I do not like it. That's what evokes change. Now they can flip-flop so quickly that it may not, I'm fine, never mind.
I needed it yesterday.
Right, and it may not be a consistent problem. That's where he said, I can turn this on and off. So do you consistently not like this? Because when it's off, when I'm bad, well, why are you that way? I guarantee you he will say it's because someone else was not being appreciative of me.
Oh, my God.
Right?
Here we go.
That's the wound. So that's when you'll start seeing those really toxic, nasty side.
Right.
Is when you wound that little
worthiness wound.
Absolutely. You'll see that. That's the flip
Validation
side.
wound,
But then it
appreciation
flips
wound.
right back.
Mm.
So I'm always like, why are you here?
Why are you here?
Why?
Attila from Houston, Texas. It's your time to shine. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Well, dang, I mean, I wasn't expecting to be on that fast. First of all, hey, Dr. Sequoia. OMG. Oh my gosh. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Okay, let me hush. Hi, Doc. Hi, how you doing?
How you doing? Go ahead, child. Talk to your friend.
I'm talking to both of y'all, but you know, so in thinking about this topic, searching for videos, something came to me, and I suspect that there's going to be like two parties of thought possibly that could pop up from this. And the first one being that I think some people are going to be triggered about the attention that Nick's going to get, because again, supply, right? All attention is good attention. But then the other part that I think we're not necessarily anticipating is that I think some people are going to be indirectly exposed by the attention that he receives, depending on what type of therapy he gets. I think it's going to be really interesting to see the thought pieces that come out about his behavior and maybe what led to this diagnosis. I don't know. What do y'all think?
I have no idea, but it's something I'm probably not going to tune into, but I will, I'll let the world, in my private conversations, people tell me some things I'm just not interested in. And it's these type of narratives, like this is the narcissistic game. So to me, is he doing this for attention, which is right now he in a deficit? Is somebody on the back end leaving him and we don't know about this and he's crying for attention? Right? And using his platform for that, so it's going to elevate him. Some things I just usually don't feed because it's feeding that wound, it's feeding that injury. Unless he's going to come on and start saying, I want to talk about toxic Nick, this is the one that hurts people, then, I don't want to hear bragging Nick.
I believe he's going to come out like that.
I'm waiting out.
I met Nick one time, and he's been, when I met him, he was super cool. I met him one time at the Foxhole, when we were on Sirius XM, and he was hella cool. And I like the diagnosis is a shock to me because I wouldn't have never pegged him as that. But I don't watch all of his content and I don't watch everything that he has going on, so I can't really ascertain who he is on stage but when I met him in person, he was cool.
Great guys. Doesn't see that other side of that coin, that they are kind, they are nice, they are charming. They can be really good superficial friends. When you meet them, they don't have to spit in your face, but when they do, they will.
Oh my God, here we go. When we come forward, we're going back to Houston, Texas to wrap it up with Attila. Let's get it. Woo!
I'm because, like I said, that I just want to know who gave you this diagnosis. Did you self-diagnose?
Yes.
And that is also a thing.
That's a big question.
Nobody tell me what's wrong with me. I've seen that in my life.
Right.
Like I am. No, that's not what it is. This is what it is.
Right.
Like, no, maybe, no, sure.
Did you hear it?
Narcissistic part. The music's louder than him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hail to him. They can't fuck with your boy.
Personality traits. It was something like.
Huh?
He said something about narcissistic personality traits.
Yeah, somebody's asking questions on the other YouTube channel. Trying to get it in. Hey, Britt, he said, this one is fire. If it's fire, support the channel. We're at $44.98. Show up is show out for fire content. And then tomorrow's topic is Gustafa. Not Mustafa. Not the Lion King. Tomorrow is Gustafa, the Tryon King. It's gonna be stupid tomorrow. The panderer, the man who's always pandering to women, always performing, always tap dancing. Gustafa.
If y'all feel like answering this question, somebody posed the question: can narcissistic personality traits be "quote unquote" grown out of or worked on to make a change? And then she said, some of the traits y'all named, I saw in my younger self. Knowledge of self, self-awareness is key.
I
So
think
actively working on it,
self-awareness
I've
is
seen the
key.
changes. So just in case y'all want to.
Yeah, I think that's a big one. We should address that for sure.
Right.
Yeah. Y'all simp shaming. Hey, this is gonna be great. Everybody hit that like button. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, we finally got more likes than people. All right. But remember, those likes get us in the algorithm. Share this video. If this is informative, if this is insightful, let us know. Too many triggers for a narcissist to do a 180. The cuddly coddler. Listen, Ronan. Listen. Come on, Ronan. Big Bro Zo. Much love, Big Bro. Peace to the chat. What up, Fishbone? Simpavelli. Hell nah. Pander pimps. You stupid. Simpavelli. Pander pimps. Oh, shit. The egoic salad tosser? Come on, man.
If your relationship is in trouble, I'm you to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom
You good?
turn-offs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial
You here?
infidelity. I'm dating a
I'm
bad
looking
person.
at, like,
Are
people's
they worth
hobbies.
the
You
wait?
gotta
Trust
love
me, it's
no.
gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy snack?
The child It's a very heated topic.
He said he
Mama's
missed you.
baby, daddy's
No,
baby.
I'm not
I just have
asking
so many
you.
questions I want to ask you.
You gone.
Someone that is kind of like, oh, this is good. Like, yes, it is.
Betrayal has been committed.
I'm just.
They're like,
How
what's
does
the
he
reason
maintain
behind it? I'm
his
like, no,
humble?
that's
I'm just.
I am
How do you rate women so well?
So Williams, reason and accountability. The voice of reason. So I didn't go around and smear my wife. I didn't go around and say bad things about her to a bunch of people. I said them to specific people that I knew I could gain leverage in their life because they were part of either my close friend group or they were part of the people that I was cheating with. And so inside of this, it wasn't this massive campaign that I put out of like, let me badmouth her because I knew most people wouldn't believe it. But the people that were closest to me, they could actually see the quote-unquote hurt and pain that I'd gone through because of my wife, right? Because I had to flip it. I had to change it all so that I looked like the victim. So then they would actually be like, oh, I'm so sorry. That sucks. Like, this is hard. But I would have people's sympathy. Narcissists sometimes will try to get your sympathy to try to get you to do what they want you to do and to feel better about themselves. So I would leverage that piece of sympathy to feel better about myself, to play the victim, so that I would have all these people around me.
Man, that sounds demonic.
It's a little rough.
I mean, come on. Let's listen.
I'm gonna create my own little cheer party.
Exactly.
And if I had to make my own fan club.
See, now let's just take off the gloves now. Let's take the gloves off. I believe psychology is limited
Absolutely.
because it's Western.
Mhm.
It's Western thought.
Right.
And Western thought uses the scientific method
absolutely.
ever since the 17th century. And that limits it, right? I believe narcissism, BPD, ADHD, whatever all of it
Let's get into it.
is spiritual.
Let's get into it.
All of it is spiritual.
Right.
You got something on you that's generational.
Mhm.
You modeled it in the home, but the home modeled it from their homes.
Right.
It's some passed down mess
Correct.
that needs to get dealt with.
Right.
So talk to me, because I do believe there should be a spiritual answer for narcissism. I don't think that there is a clinical one, so to speak.
Right.
But talk to me about why there isn't.
So, because we have to also remember that DSM we're talking about, that the Bible.
The Bible, literally.
The Bible of mental disorders.
Yeah.
Was teeny weeny, like literally the size of my finger.
Right.
It had probably like 2 or 3 diagnoses in there.
Right.
And over time, this book